We're back! Happy New Year! I hope your holiday was terrific and that your family treated you with the respect and tolerance you deserve. And if they didn't, I hope you kicked them in the dick. We are 3 days into 2017 and already this year is a shit show. So far we've had Republicans attempting to gut the Office of Congressional Ethics, Mariah Carey murdering her sound engineer, and topping the list, today's topic, confirmation that the Russian government has been tampering with our political process. In case you were still knee-deep in your Grammy's gnarly green bean casserole last week, President Obama formally sanctioned Russia for its obvious, verifiable hacking of the DNC. The White House issued a statement saying, quote, Russia's cyber activities were intended to influence the election, erode faith in U.S. democratic institutions, sow doubt about the integrity of our electoral process, and undermine confidence in the institutions of the U.S. government. Whew. We are living in an 80s movie. The only things missing are Matthew Broderick and Ali Sheedy. Among those the administration sanctioned were the GRU and the FSB, Russian intelligence agencies, 4 Russian individuals with names I can't pronounce, and they also ordered 35 Russian diplomats to leave the US within 72 hours, which is actually 3 hours less than it takes POTUS Trump to surgically attach that roadkill to his head. When asked if the president expected the incoming Trump administration to reverse these sanctions by executive order, a senior White House official began to cry and said,
"That's not how it works. That's not how any of this works."
While Obama was rocking out to "we're not gonna take it," the other side responded with their typical cycle of disbelief and "we told you so" theatrics. At his fancy New Year's Eve party, POTUS Trump continued to deny Russian involvement in his election, and then he hinted that he somehow knows something that nobody else knows.
I also know things that other people don't know.
Donald Trump has secret information buried deep inside him. He's just like a Russian nesting doll, except the last one is a turd. He also referenced the daily national security briefings he receives, you know, the ones he said he didn't need because national security briefings are boring. How about these words? The Russians got you elected. There are some of us who are going to keep saying that until you acknowledge that it's true. Still, despite the evidence, Trump responded by saying, quote, "It's time for our country to move on to bigger and better things." Like remodeling the White House, maybe? If you can't acknowledge Trump's financial and political ties to Vladimir Putin, you deserve what's coming to you. Dead animals on your head and a soup made out of beets. Gross. Both of them are gross, and that's not even the worst of it. Oh, and look for Trump's latest cabinet appointments later this week. Republicans on the Hill, however, were quick to distance themselves from Czar Trump and instead used the news as another way to malign President Obama. Speaker Paul Ryan called the sanctions, quote, overdue and an appropriate way to end 8 years of failed policy with Russia. So when Obama accuses the Russians of state-sponsored hacking, he's doing it for political reasons. But when it's proven that the Russians are hacking, then Obama didn't act fast enough? Paul Ryan is like a cheap magician trying to get everyone to look at his right hand while he shoves a scarf into his left fist. Except Paul Ryan is trying to cram both his fists into America's asshole. Newsflash, we can see you, Paul, and we're tired of being fisted by your party. Seriously, Paul Ryan is just distracting us with all his flip-flopping so that we don't notice it when he removes the checks and balances from our government. At least John McCain and Lindsey Graham have held consistent positions about Russia since the Jurassic period. Look, this is no longer a question of if Russia hacked the DNC. Everyone knows who stole the cookies, and there is no way to spin it. President Obama has less than 20 days in office, so you can stop blaming him for anything. It's time to focus on the incoming administration and to keep our eyes open, because even though Trump has teeny tiny hands, I'm not interested in having his hands inside me. Yeah, that was another fisting reference. Hey, thanks for watching. Comments, questions, advocacy for fisting, let me know down below or hit me up on Twitter at Nate Clark. Otherwise, I'll see you next week. Also, sorry my nipples are kind of sharp today. Santa didn't bring me any new clothes, so I'm doing the best I can. Bye!